the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by the Butterfly Palace. Have the best day ever adventuring through the rainforest at the Butterfly Palace. And Springfield Greene County Park Board, reminding you to go play. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Hey, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great Tuesday, that your week is off to a good start. It's been a busy week so far, and it's looks like it's only getting busier. So we'll begin with some news.
Yeah, Tropical Storm Idalia is expected to become a major hurricane before it reaches Florida's Gulf Coast. Bad news there. The National Hurricane Center is warning of possible life-threatening storm surge and hurricane-force winds. Cuba could also be inundated with some heavy flooding and landslides. Convoy of Hope is leaving the Ozarks this morning, actually heading to Florida, where the disaster team will wait for the storm to pass and then move in as soon as they can with essential supplies.
Yeah, it's about 5 o'clock now, right? This is when our podcast drops. So 7 o'clock is when we're expecting to leave town, heading down to probably somewhere around Atlanta, stay there for the night. And then as the storm moves through Wednesday morning, we will get up and we will head into the disaster zone. So if you want to follow along on what we're doing, you can do that on Convoy of Hope's social media platforms. I'll be there. We'll have updates, and you can see what Convoy is doing.
All right. Meanwhile, another natural disaster of sorts, we will see, but a utility company in Hawaii is saying it did not start the Maui wildfires, although they are being accused of it. The officials there, some of them saying that they have old equipment at this power plant that was not well maintained, which some say started the fires. There are now several lawsuits accusing Hawaii Electric of such neglect of their equipment. The company actually says its power lines, though, were not even on when and where the fires broke out.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of question about where this thing started, and a lot of people want to know what started the fires that were so deadly and so destructive. So maybe we'll find out in a court of law. I don't know, but we'll see. Back here closer to home, lots of money spent, but the goal is to bring in even more money than was spent. The Chiefs franchise was in Branson to announce Branson as the Chiefs' official destination for vacation. And with that, Branson will be highly promoted by the Chiefs. There will be lots of local events for Chiefs fans in Branson as well. Many a Branson business owner thinks it's going to be a big boost, bringing a lot of tourists to town. That's the gamble. The Branson Board of Aldermen agreed to $750,000 to land the deal. And the city says the Chiefs paid the same amount, making them equal partners in this. The leader of the Branson Lakes Area Tourism Community Enhancement District, which is a big title, is estimating an economic boost of about $5 million for Branson. So if you figure they pay $750,000 and get $5 million in return, that is a pretty good investment. But we'll see.
Hopefully that'll work for them. It is exciting.
Yeah, we're all rooting for them. That's for sure. Greene County commissioners said yes to the state's freeze of property taxes for senior citizens. That's great for senior citizens. Counties across the state could opt to help seniors with that tax credit. Greene County did. These are for seniors who are receiving Social Security retirement benefits. The bill received bipartisan support to give our seniors a tax break.
All right, coming up next month, Drury University will celebrate 150 years. That in and of itself is impressive. With that, a civil rights leader will be the keynote speaker. Valerie Carr, who is an educator and author, will speak about diversity and reconciliation. That event is Monday, September 18th at the O'Reilly Family Event Center. All right, Bank of America has been accused of discrimination after it closed the accounts of a Christian charity. The Indigenous Advance Ministry says the bank illegally discriminated against them because of their religious views. That 8-year-old ministry partners with Ugandan ministries to provide basic needs and vocational training for orphans. So that will be headed to court.
Okay. Also in court, President Trump now has a trial date. March 4th, he will go before a federal judge in Washington on charges of what some authorities say was him trying to overturn results of the 2020 election. Trump is indeed the early front runner for the Republican nomination, that's for sure. But this date is going to be interesting because it just so happens It just so happens to be the day before Super Tuesday when the largest number of delegates are up for grabs. So we'll see what happens.
Right.
Politics, right?
The timing, right?
Hey, something. Did you take out your earphones? Something happened to your audio. At any rate,
I thought something sounded weird in my audio, but something sounded weird in your audio, and now I hear you fine. So I don't know. Am I off? Am I on?
I can hear me
Bueller?
in the background. I don't know if they can. So we'll continue on. Starting tomorrow, in Springfield, you can get an up-close and personal view of some vintage World War II aircraft. A B-29 Super Fortress, a T-6 Texan, and a PT-13 Stearman are now just a few of the planes that will be on site. And you take it from here.
All right. You can take a look at those planes and even book a ride in them as well. It's all part of a history tour that a nonprofit puts on, which is pretty cool, just to showcase history. That event runs from tomorrow through Labor Day, and it's at 5000 West Kearney Street, which of course is near the airport. I feel like this has happened several years ago, and I got to do a story on it. And there are some amazing stories if you go. I mean, some amazing sites too, but to talk to some of the people who are out there, who had loved ones or some sort of connection to the war, to the planes, to this specific aircraft. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And you do have to have tickets. You can check that out online. But yes, happening tomorrow through Labor Day. All right. Sorry, this is me. If you've had a delayed flight lately, as we have, but you had to sit on the plane for a long time, several hours on the runway, you might be getting some money back in your pocket. The Transportation Department is fining American Airlines $4.1 million, saying that it had 43 flights that were delayed, affecting about 6,000 passengers. By law, passengers must be allowed to get off the plane after sitting for 3 hours on the runway. Apparently that didn't happen, so that's why they were fined. The money collected by the fines will be split between the government and the passengers. So if that's you, if that affects you, you'll know it because you will be getting contacted by either the government or American Airlines.
I love how the government gets some money. When they didn't do anything, just give it all to the passengers, but the government's going to take their cut. All right, I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, also it's the government who has to enforce the rule.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if people can hear the echo or not, but if they can, it's driving them crazy. So I'll say, see you later. Have a great day.
Okay, I don't hear an echo. I'll check this best I can, but yeah, headed down to Florida. Be careful. Godspeed, my husband. And to all the people in the Ozarks who are headed that way to help, God bless you. And yep, we'll see what transpires down on the coast. So have a happy Tuesday, and we'll hope to see you back here tomorrow morning. Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Here's your host, Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. We are in for another beautiful day in the Ozarks. I get really good news to deliver to you this week because we are dealing with temperatures that are seasonal, even a little bit below in some cases. That was the case around the area yesterday on Monday, but boy, morning temperatures are so enjoyable, aren't they? We are starting off the day near 60 degrees today, and we are going to stay pretty cool through the morning hours, mid 80s for highs today. Loads of sunshine. We still are going to hold on to a northeast breeze. Not too hot, not too cold, pretty comfortable outside and still warm enough to enjoy kind of some summer-like activities. We'll be heating it back up though for the unofficial end of summer, the Labor Day holiday weekend that is coming up. Overall, though, this week I have good news in the weather department. We are going to be gradually warming up here over the next few days. In fact, a little bit of back and forth before the temperatures really start to warm up back into the 90s again. I have numbers that are going to be topping out in the 80s today, tomorrow, even on Thursday. I think we're in the 80s, and then 90s return just in time for those holiday weekend celebrations. Another nice one out there today, though, really you can't beat it. It's another one of those Chamber of Commerce days, late August. We've got sunshine. We've got a high temperature right around 85 degrees. Slowly warming up as we head into the rest of the 7-day forecast. And actually, there's a cold front that comes through the region late tonight into tomorrow. It's going to knock our temperature down a little bit tomorrow compared to the numbers that we have out today. Low 80s are back in my forecast for tomorrow. And then we see the warm up take off for the end of the work week. But overall, I mean, things are looking really quiet, really dry too. I know a lot of folks are reaching out and saying, hey, when's the next best chance of rain? I really could use some. We're seeing those drought conditions really start to creep back in. And unfortunately, this is the bad news in the forecast. I don't have a whole lot in the way of rain chances. We are really moisture starved. So even though we've got a cold front on the way, with no available moisture, you don't get any rainfall. So we are going to stay dry here in the Ozarks all the way through the end of the holiday weekend. And then hopefully we can get a couple of small isolated chances to return in the forecast. That looks possible in the long range charts for next week. Still doesn't look like a lot. I don't want to get your hopes up, but we're going to stay dry in the forecast at least through the holiday weekend. If you have weekend plans, though, it is a big outdoor activity weekend. It'll feel like summertime. Temps skyrocketing again, back into the mid 90s. I don't think all that humidity comes back this time, so that's good news. We may have a heat index value near 100 for a few hours as we head into Sunday and Monday in particular. But for the most part, summer-like, hot, dry, nice weather to get out on the water or have a way to cool down for the holiday. The big story, of course, across the country, and why we don't have any moisture at all, we're moisture starved in my outlook, is because of that tropical system impacting the Gulf. A major hurricane set to make landfall in the United States tomorrow morning. We have nothing but sunshine here in the middle part of the country. They are dealing with a much different story down to the southeast. In fact, Florida expecting major impacts from this. 85 though today. Enjoy the sunshine. We have that major threat to Florida. Everybody in full hurricane prep mode in the southeast. Idalia has rapidly intensified today, already making its way to hurricane status. That's only going to strengthen. I told you yesterday, the waters in the Gulf are warm. I mean, okay, warm is like not strong enough of a word. They're hot. And with those hot waters, we're going to see the hurricane just rapidly intensify as it moves into the Florida coast. Probably going to make landfall somewhere around the Big Bend in Florida, north of St. Pete, north of Tampa on the west coast there. Maybe all the way far north to Panama City Beach, but everybody's in full prep mode. It's pretty apparent this is going to hit as a major hurricane at this point, which means category 3 or higher. And it's just not good news down there for our friends to the southeast. So if you have friends or family in Florida, we're certainly thinking about them. I know everybody's out getting supplies, making sure all the properties are secured because this is going to bring a whole lot of rain. Widespread 5 inches of rain. Of course, the coastal flooding could be worse than that with the storm surge. And then all that rain is going to head up through Georgia. The Carolinas are expecting some flooding, and that storm's going to roll right up along the East Coast. So that's really what's gripping the attention weather-wise across the country while things are quiet here in the Midwest. And boy, are they quiet. We don't have a whole lot happening weather-wise for us. Here's a look at the brain twister question. I'll answer the one that I left you with. Cotton candy is called what in France? And the options that I gave you were A, fairy floss, B, candy floss, C, Santa's beard, or D, dad's beard. I saw some guesses. I saw some correct ones, and I saw a lot of correct ones because there are actually 2 answers today that could be correct. So cotton candy is called what in France? Well, the French call it candy floss. Like if you're an American over in France and you want to order cotton candy, you could say, I want some candy floss, and what you would get is cotton candy. However, the literal translation, and I certainly cannot pronounce how you say it in French, but it's like that's the best I can do, seriously. But that actually means the literal translation is dad's beard. So I would have accepted B or D. I was going for B, candy floss, but if you said D, you are correct too. Also, a fun fact on top of a fun fact is that cotton candy was invented by an American dentist. Isn't that funny? I think candy floss is a really good way to describe cotton candy. It just like sticks to your teeth. Like the second you put it in your mouth, it's like, okay, I need to brush them. There's like this film on everything. And a dentist came up with that. Interestingly enough, I bet he would recommend you brush your teeth after you eat it. All right, here's the brain twister question for tomorrow. We're kind of staying on this carnival theme. What were carousels originally designed for? What do you think? Do you think it was A, to force confessions from prisoners, B, to train knights, C, to make beer, or D, to help transport heavy objects? Let me know what you think. You can do that over on the Around the Ozarks Facebook page. Oh, and before I let you go today, I want to say a big congratulations to our winners from last week's Chiefs raffle. Those of you that entered the giveaway at aroundtheozarks.com, you had 2 chances to enter to win 2 Chiefs tickets. Our big winners were Gerald from Sparta and Andy from Springfield. We hope you had a fantastic time at the game last Saturday. And make sure you're listening to Around the Ozarks, of course, Wake Up Weather, and Around the Ozarks in 5, because you just never know the next chance that we are going to surprise some of our listeners with a pair of Chiefs tickets this football season. So keep listening, keep entering, and we look forward to giving away more fun prizes this football season. I know all those fantasy football leagues are getting their rosters ready to go, gearing up for football season around here. I have more up-to-the-minute weather. It's available on aroundtheozarks.com. You can head there and check it out. Have a great day. I will talk to you tomorrow morning.